Hey there, vinyl community. My name's Tom. You're watching High Rant District. If you can hear anything playing in the background, it's a CD by the band Help. It's a Portland punk band. Great stuff. Very DIY. Just comes in a plastic sleeve, and the CD is just kind of sitting here. And the CD itself is like probably a CDR. It's just kind of spray painted with the name Help across it. The music's great. Fast punk. Very real, very good stuff. Anyway, just wanted to talk about what I was spinning this morning. Listened to 3 records so far this morning. First one I've been playing is Maiden Voyage by Herbie Hancock. This record came out in, I want to say, the mid-60s, and this is probably a mid to late 70s reissue. It's on Blue Note. It's on that Blue Note label that's dark blue with the black B. If you're into the sort of minutia, there is no RVG stamp in this thing. The music, the album sounds great. This recently came out in the I saw it came out in the Blue Note Classic series. You know, they're putting out brand new pressings in these things. Not very expensive, which is good. However, when I see a reissue of a record come out, my first thought is try to get the original or try to get an early pressing. I mean, this is something that's had probably a bazillion copies made. So there's plenty of copies of it out there. This was inexpensive. Clean, sounds great. So anyway, I'm not a huge jazz person. I keep on, there is jazz that I listen to and that I do own. It's good. This record, I mean, I like some of Herbie Hancock's stuff, so I figured I'd give this a try. And the way it's described, it's supposed to be like sort of meditations on the ocean. I mean, it's not a meditative record. How's it described? All right, Herbie Hancock says, the music attempts to capture its vastness and majesty, talking about the ocean. The splendor of the seagoing vessel on the maiden voyage, the graceful beauty of the playful dolphins, the constant struggle of the survival of even the tiniest sea creatures, and the awesome destructive power of the hurricane, nemesis of the seamen. Seamen meaning men at sea, not baby gravy. But it's got, here's a look at the tracks and the players. You got Herbie Hancock, obviously, on the piano. Freddie Hubbard on trumpet. George Coleman on tenor sax. Ron Carter on bass. And Anthony Williams on drums. So far, so good. I like it. It's, as far as like starting out the day, you know, it's kind of a peaceful first listen. It's the first thing I listened to this morning, and I get what it's, you know, going on about being about the ocean and the vastness and the mystery, and I get it. I wouldn't have, you know, if I didn't have this to tell me that, would I have put that together? No, but once you tell me, I can see where you're going with it. So good stuff. Inexpensive, late 80s reissue. You know, if I can, you know, when they put out these reissues of records that came out, you know, prior to the 1980s, you know, this is an analog. It's all analog, you know. So if it's inexpensive and they made a million of them, I'm just going for the older one, even if it's not original. You know, it's still, you know, what I would consider. It's not OG totally, but you know, it's analog. It's clean. They made a bazillion. They're not that expensive. Buy the used version if you can. So, good record. So far, good. Not gripping, but good early morning listen. From there, needed to step it up a little bit. So, I busted out, it's fairly new to me, Grizzler, Destructoid. This is a 2017 release on Hex Records. Grizzler are a I just love the artwork. I mean, you know, if album art is kind of a dying art, and I dig this. I know it's kind of cartoonish, but it's like it's telling me what's likely to be happening here. So it's good stuff, and you know that you kind of get that from this too. Like, that's a good album cover. It kind of gives me a feel for what's going on in this record. So Grizzler, they have a new album coming out, and it's not a band that I've been familiar with prior to picking up this record. You know, I played one of the tracks from the new record that comes out sometime later this year. I pre-ordered it, and I dug the sample, so I ordered it, and then I checked out their discography. This is their only LP from 2017, so I grabbed it. So kind of to see like where is the band coming from before I get the next album. So give you an idea. Take a look at the track listing. It opens up with Fruit Loopville. You got House in the Woods, Tooth Pain, Miserable Jerk, Stupid Shit, and so on. It's kind of a it's a record that's if you listen to the lyrics, it's misanthropic is really the best way to put it. Very, very not acerbic, but negative. I don't know why I would be drawn to that, but it's Grizzler is a three-piece band. Drums, guitar, and bass out of New Haven, Connecticut. They're sort of billed as noise rock. I don't really get so much the noise end of it out of this album, but more like a sludge. Like if you think of like a sludge metal and hardcore, it's kind of a bit of a mix of those two. The vocals are set way back, so it's kind of like it's almost a little like if you like a Butthole Surfers, like singing through the microphone thing, through a megaphone. Not really a megaphone, but almost that sound. The vocals are back. It's like the vocals are being spoken sung from like the far end of a hallway, and they're yelling at you from the back. It's set way in the back. The just to kind of give you an idea of the lyrics, I should probably pull out the lyric sheet. So here's the insert. I'm going to read the lyrics from, I'm going to take my glasses off because I can't see shit sometimes. This song is called Wade's Notes. The lyrics go, "Welcome to your appointment. Come in and take a seat, please. That's a $9,000 couch. So don't scuff it. I'm just going to get my notepad and talk that I use to write about your pathetic life. But most of the time I'm just doodling. I got these degrees all hanging on my wall that I specialize on how much that I care. Take a seat back and tell me how much you suck. You suck. So let's talk about your problems and how they should come first, and how you can't get a grip on this shitty life you got stuck with. You're just going through the same shit as everyone else on this fucking planet, but I don't give a fuck what's wrong with you. I'll just get some pills and mask what's real and sit back and cash your check while you're a doped up emotional wreck." So it's not a love song. The album is it's dark, kind of funny. It's the sound quality. This is like a $15 record on the Hex Records Bandcamp website. It's like what a record really should cost. But it's funny. I was like messaging back and forth, I think, on Instagram Pop with Chris Mabue Cop. We're talking about how some newer records sound kind of flat, and I get the impression that sometimes things get mastered for digital, like just for streaming or for CD, and then that's kind of the mastering that gets used to put on the record. I get a little bit of that with this. It sounds a little bit flat, but it was in stark contrast to Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage. It's like they kind of really polar opposites. So it was a nice shift in tone. It's a good record. It's not a great record. I don't recommend that everybody go out and buy it. I mean, sample it on Bandcamp. If it grabs, you grab it. Um, but I dig the artwork. It's you got futuristic dude shooting a alien with like some cave girl looking woman there. I don't know what's going on, but it's cool. And then speaking of good album art, the next album I listened to this morning was Smashing Humans by Onogano. This is this is on 577 Records. It's a sort of an avant-garde, experimental, sort of sometimes jazz label out of Brooklyn, New York. Which always rubs me a bit the wrong way because I grew up in the Bronx and it's like fuck Brooklyn, but that's kind of where the music scene is at the moment in New York City. Anyway, so attracted by the album art. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It's like it's an 8-bit video game. Got an orange monster, and you got some like Santa Claus looking fuckers, and then looks like Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo, and then you got some like spies sitting here in the dark in the background, and people trying to escape from a Jello mold. And then on the flip side, the orange monster seems to have been conquered, along with some shady characters, and you got people over here celebrating. Anyway, this is Onogano. It's kind of billed as noise jazz, so there's it's all kind of centered around Onogano's violin, and then you've got let's see, Peter Apfelbaum on tenor sax, Kaisuke Matsuno on electric guitar, Ken Filiano on acoustic bass, and Joe Hertenstein on drums. So it's a little bit chaotic. I would call it noise jazz, kind of rocky. Certainly, I hate the word experimental, but certainly kind of avant-garde. There's some of it's chaotic, where it's kind of like if you listen to jazz, you used to hearing like one instrument going on for a while, then another instrument going on in a while, and there's good pockets of this where everything's going on at once, and it sounds kind of chaotic. Other parts sound good, like there's I should say good, sound more traditional, like a more regular listen. So I don't know, I'm still wrapping my head around this. I like it more on the third play than more so than the first two. So I'm sort of coming around to it. I really dig the album art. Here's the inner sleeve looks like. And I don't know, maybe somebody who knows video games knows more what's going on here than I do. Talks about smashing humans, polyrhythmic Santa Clauses, bunnies, and poops. There's one of those smiley poops in there. So I don't know what's going on. These people seem to be celebrating, and then as like this inner sleeve, like kind of like if you wrapped it around, the art kind of wraps around, and they're fighting this orange monster who eventually on the back cover is defeated. So I don't know what's really going on there. It kind of it's chaotic in places, and for like chaotic music, I'm missing a word here to describe it. You have to be in the right mood for it. I have to be in the right mood for it because I do like chaos at times. That's kind of like a noise rock thing, but this is even like more chaotic than what you would think of with traditional noise rock. So it's interesting. I don't know if it's entirely a keeper yet. I haven't really figured it out. But it was 3 interesting listens this morning. When I mean like listening, like nobody else is home, so I'm just listening. Like I put the music on and I listen to it. I'm not doing other shit. Not on my phone. I'm not on my computer. Not making breakfast or what have you. And nothing against doing that. I mean, it's great. You should incorporate music into your life and whatever other activities you're doing. But sometimes, I don't get a lot of free time. Sometimes life is just really fucking busy. I mean, if you can tell by the surroundings, I've moved. I'm still in Portland, but we've moved. So, life gets chaotic, and, having music going on while you're doing other things can kind of just, pushing this on. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm going to stop babbling. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.